Imagine going to the movies, and you're not sure what you want to see yet. You're still deciding. You're looking at the marquee, you're looking at the showtimes on the board, and there's no ratings next to the titles. And not only that, but every movie that was rated R is gone. It's hidden. Or imagine you made a movie. You're a filmmaker, or you're part of a production company. So you've been sinking time and money and talent and other resources into making a movie. And you finish the movie, and you ship off the print, and then you have no idea what the film was rated, even though that is going to affect what audience gets to see the film. That's the current state of YouTube. There is a secret rating system that is assigned to every video uploaded and every channel as a whole. Very similar to the MPA ratings. It goes from G to mature. You can't see it as a user. You can't see it or appeal it as a content creator. And it's censoring the website. So how do we know about this rating system, and what impact does it have on videos? I mean, if you can't see it as a user, you can't see it as a creator, and even the YouTube heroes, the volunteer moderators, can't see it, how do we know it exists? Well, there are several pieces that complete this puzzle, and it involves statements made by YouTube on Twitter, statements made by YouTube employees on YouTube itself, an email exchange between a major YouTuber and their handler at YouTube, and YouTube's advertising tools within AdWords. For context, let's start back in December 2017. This channel made a video talking about secret codes on YouTube. The video was communicating the findings of a white paper by the Karlaplan group, asserting that videos were being secretly tagged for their non-advertiser friendly content and then suppressed within search and discovery for those tags. Meaning that videos that YouTube bots believed to contain risque content were being made harder to find within the tools on YouTube like the search bar and all the various recommended feeds that are part of the layout of the site. If you want to see extensive evidence for what algorithmic suppression can do to a video's views, check out the 3 reports that are linked in the description. Data in bio.
Thanks to the channel Nerd City, the numbers so far that have been discovered. The numbers! What do they mean?
H3H3 and PewDiePie amplified this issue on Twitter and with a video, and other creators started to make videos about this, and YouTube had to deal with it. It became a PR crisis. Unlike some of their recent Wendy's-style responses, they responded very tactfully. Like an experienced politician, they answered the question that they wished they'd been asked, and not exactly the question that was raised by the video and by the report.
Basically saying that the yellow icon alone doesn't impact search and discovery, but if the video is also not suitable for a wider audience, then you might see a poorer performance. So they're basically saying,
if a video gets demonetized, it has nothing to do with lower views, okay? But if a video has explicit content, then it's not going to get as many views.
The yellow icon doesn't limit videos in search and discovery, they said. The yellow icon. Now, a lot of people know the yellow icon means demonetized, so that's something people recognized, but that was not really the underlying concern about the scanning and the tagging of content. Just 7 days later, Todd B., the head of search and discovery at YouTube, came on Creator Insider and answered a sort of reformulated softball question about demonetization.
Like, how are those things connected?
So the search and discovery systems that decide sort of which videos to recommend, they don't have any knowledge about what's going on in the advertising system. So if you get that yellow icon that you see that says it may not be suitable for all advertisers, the information about that doesn't even flow into our system. These things can overlap in terms of you know, something that advertisers care about running their ads around might be like profanity or violence or certain controversial topics. They may decide, you know, they just don't want to be associated with that type of content. Similarly, we may find that audiences have similar preferences. So we might find that, you know, a profane video, for example, may not be something that everyone on YouTube is going to be interested in.
I like Creator Insider. I like the guy Tom who runs it. I'm so glad that channel exists. I think it's a good step in the right direction. But I believe that that answer and the answer on YouTube's Twitter are meant to protect secrets and are deliberately misleading. We have to split a hair here to get to the truth. Here's what those two answers imply. The green or yellow status, which we can think of as the sort of on or off light representing monetization, is not fed directly into search and discovery. The Fisher-Price Baby's First AdSense tool to let YouTubers know if they're going to get paid or not, that's not being used by YouTube's algorithm. Okay, fine. However, the root causes of a video being demonetized, and let's say rated M, which comes as a result of layers of machine learning algorithms scanning, identifying, sorting, and rating the content based on its tags, title, thumbnails, and closed captions, is affecting search and discovery. That's the important thing. They're admitting it there. It's an admission that sounds like a denial.
Yeah, they're saying yes and no at the same time. It's like tennis. It's like going back and forth. Hey, we dodged around the issue.
And all of those interpretations of videos made by machines aren't being explained to YouTubers, can't even be seen, and can't be appealed. So let's boil it down to the yellow light doesn't do anything. Does that answer all your questions, you nosy creators? The next piece of evidence about the secret rating system comes from Kwebbelkop, who, if you don't already know, is a huge Let's Play YouTuber with about 8 million subscribers. YouTube holds these VIP meetings for creators at what they call their creator spaces. PewDiePie was just at one in London. At one of these meetings, at the London Creator Space, Kwebbelkop heard something in the meeting that kind of piqued his interest, so he followed up on it in an email to his handler at YouTube. He wanted to know if his channel was considered kid-friendly, and if not, what he could do to change that. The reply he got states, "I checked your channel, and I'm happy to say your channel is DV-teen. Please keep this confidential." That email contains a remarkable piece of information, and after Kweb shared it, he says he's been iced out. He stopped getting invited to those creator space meetings. That just never happened again. In his own words to me, he feels he's been blacklisted. As you see in the email, he was asked not to share this information. Why? Who knows? This is the kind of specific information that can help a channel understand what's happening to them. So he shared it. I say good for him for doing that, and thank you. Whenever YouTubers get a press release or an official posting by the CEO on the blog, the wording is always so intentionally vague that we can't understand what the words literally mean without sort of busting apart the language and trying to apply it to other unconfirmed assumptions about how the website works. It's as if they're taking their internal policies and memos and feeding them into a confuser machine. Even for a community of people who are relatively gifted with language, it's maddening to try and reassemble the meaning out of these releases. Thankfully, though, on the AdWords side of YouTube, where advertisers are actually pumping their money into the platform, the structure of YouTube reveals itself. Things are a little more cut and dry. If you're running an ad campaign and you want to limit your ad to play on videos that are rated G or T or M, you can simply click a tab that, well, abracadabra. If you still had any doubt, there's your video ratings. This tool would not work, and it would not be structured this way if videos were not being rated internally. We can use this tool to gather information and sort of reverse engineer the way that the system works. By excluding all tabs but one, and then collecting information on where your ads were placed, you can build a list of videos that fall into just one category. If you build a list of videos that are, say, rated M, then maybe we can look at the videos on that list and better understand the rating system as it's applied to all videos across the site. Sealow and the Karlaplan group created a research project to do exactly that. For 1 month, they ran ad campaigns excluding everything except videos rated mature and targeting the channels of H3H3, PewDiePie, iDubbbzTV, Leafy is Here, Drama Alert, Internet Comment Etiquette, and I Hate Everything. The videos that had ads placed on them according to this rule created a dataset of confirmed rated M videos. Many of PewDiePie's videos were revealed as rated M, and those videos all performed very poorly compared to his other videos, but we'll get into that in a second. None of I Hate Everything's videos were served under the mature filter. He's even said on Twitter that he thinks the bot is passing right over him. But why? Possibly because he's doing something that the other guys don't. I Hate Everything self-tags his videos as satire when he uploads. The satire tag seems to create some kind of flexibility that's protecting his videos from the content filter. So I Hate Everything has benefited from this satire tag loophole, perhaps without even knowing it was the reason why. Meanwhile, other content creators who also employ satire as a form of comedy, like H3 and PewDiePie and iDubbbz and Ice, have all had their catalogs of content slammed by this mature rating.
And I really want to talk about this, because I'm pissed, and I'm probably more pissed than I should be.
They show up on your videos, and that's what it feels like. Pissed. You got pissed on your soul, and now you're pissed, because most of the time it just doesn't make any sense.
Alright, listen, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take away their money, and we're not gonna fucking tell them. Don't you think we should just talk to our creators? That's the YouTube way, isn't it? Why would they talk to their creators?
Better communication about this from YouTube could have saved those creators a lot of grief and confusion, not to mention all of the creators downstream who are creating similar content. And that mature rating matters, as Sealow, the lead researcher, puts it here.
Here are 10 videos from PewDiePie that were uploaded 9 months ago. 2 of these videos were rated mature. On average, the views of the mature videos are 3.3 million views, while the non-mature videos have an average of 6.65 million views. That is just over 50% less views for the mature videos. The community seemed to agree with around 30%, but that is of course in the short term. These videos showcase the long-term effect, because when it's mature, it won't get recommended as much, which will eventually stack up over time. But as our research showed, the impact is much bigger for smaller creators.
So the second wave of this ad campaign hunting for mature videos, this time targeted LGBTQ channels and women's issues channels. The list of confirmed M-rated videos include Me Too videos like My Story, Rape in College, coming out videos like Coming Out or Not as a Gay Sri Lankan Teen, and videos concerning gay rights issues like homosexuality in Chechnya. Also, Growing Up Illegally Gay, 4 Life Stories. These are people who are speaking out about sexual abuse or against homophobia being rated M. These voices, which I believe that YouTube leadership does care about, are being suppressed by this clumsy rating system. So with that concerning pattern appearing, the last leg of the ad campaign targeted these keywords specifically. They placed ads on videos related to coming out of the closet, suicide prevention, and Me Too. The videos that were rated mature along that keyword cloud are heartbreaking to see. This is clearly where the results are the most concerning, because the bot can't seem to tell the difference between a video that's, let's say, making light of suicide and a video that's aimed at dissuading people who are suicidal from going through with it. Look at this video, for example, titled, "Before You Commit Suicide, Watch This Video First." The comments are filled with people sharing how much this video helped them. Some people saying that watching it literally saved their life that day. It was rated M and made harder to find. That should not be happening. If a young person is considering hurting themselves, this might be the video they need to see. There should not be an age limit on encouraging people to choose life. Next on the list, and similarly affected, we see first-person revelations of sexual misconduct, part of the Me Too movement, rated M. The recent openness about sharing and listening to stories like this was an important cultural moment, and censoring that directly undermines it. There's evidence that tagging Me Too in the metadata or putting Me Too in the title whitelists it from the content rating system, but no one was told that. That's not a clean solution if the whitelist is just quietly implemented by a programmer and never communicated to the community. Regular people don't have a crystal ball about what metadata to use for a video, so not every video related to Me Too used that hashtag, and they won't in the future. Not if you don't tell people. YouTube is in a tough position. Whatever they do, they're gonna get slammed, and on tricky topics. In lots of cases, depending who they side with, determines who's going to try to sue them. One theory I have for why YouTube will never be completely forthcoming about what their scanning bots can do has to do with US copyright law. In order to benefit from the safe harbor provisions of the DMCA, YouTube needs to be able to argue that they don't have actual or red flag knowledge that users are uploading infringing materials. But the better that this artificial intelligence gets, the better that the machine learning gets, the more they have to admit that yeah, they can kind of tell what everything is as soon as it's uploaded and while it's still being processed. But when you're supporting an ecosystem of creators who rely on this platform for a job, which YouTube leadership say that they want you to do.
So what we stand for is really 4 freedoms. Freedom of opportunity, anybody to make a living on YouTube. Freedom of speech, as important as ever. Freedom of information, accessing it. And then the 4th one is freedom to belong. That puts an enormous responsibility for communication and fair play on the company's back. YouTube grew and grew and grew at any cost in order to become the dominant video platform, while the competition was crushed or faded away. So they asked for this. They wanted this. YouTube is the #2 most visited site in the world, second only to the search engine that owns it. That's the whole internet building around it. That is the world on its shoulders. In a year where the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, has promised better communication and clearer policies, there are a lot of people, including me, counting on this to get better. So, solution. Let's have some clarity on this rating system.
What specifically triggers a rating on a video-to-video basis? I know we've got some buffoons here, but trust your content creators to build their content to fit within those guidelines. They'll adapt if they just know what they need to adapt. We're already seeing that happening as channels learn the hard way and start trying to teach each other what works, what doesn't work. Hey, don't upload puke videos. Don't put gun in the title. Use the satire tag. Use the Me Too tag if that's accurate. This information should be coming from YouTube, not Nerd City, not me, right? Not independent Swedish researchers who have to poke the site to see what it does. We're trying to create things that will be entertaining and that will be seen by people, but the implementation for the rules on how to do that changes from day to day and from week to week, secretly, and it's incredibly frustrating to have to figure that out yourself from trial and error, or from other creators, or from whistleblowers. The best documentation we have for understanding what would trigger these ratings comes from a leak. Thanks to Tower Dog, whoever the fuck that is, we have a few pages of a document that was being used by human manual reviewers to look at YouTube videos. But the source was anonymous. This came out a few months ago before the whole Logan Paul Japan debacle, so the rules could have changed by now. They probably did. Why can't we have something like this on the up and up? Why can't we get something better than this? There are nice Q&A sessions on the Creator Insider channel now, but at the end of the day, we still have to upload a video and then get a result, which we interpret ourselves based off of an on or off switch. Nothing is more frustrating than spending days or even weeks on a video, uploading it, having it pick up a mature rating secretly behind the scenes, we don't know why, and then instead of being able to move on to the next creative process, or let's say take care of responsibilities we have in our life, we have to spend the next few days changing out the tags, experimenting with the title, making a new thumbnail, bleeping the dialogue, re-rendering, re-uploading over and over, trial and error style, until suddenly, ding! Mysteriously, the ad-friendly light changes from yellow to green. That is a baby's toy, and it's covering up for experimental, failing technology. Google's Vision API, which is widely believed to be the tool that's scanning thumbnails to determine their ad-friendliness or not, scans a thumbnail of PewDiePie and sees that as racy. Sees a picture of YouTube's CEO, Susan Wojcicki, as racy, and yet a photo of you-know-who's in a you-know-what group, it thinks it's perfectly fine. That gets a clean bill of health, not violent. And I can't even say the name out loud about what that is, because YouTube's clumsy closed caption scanning bot might think that I'm talking about you-know-what. This technology is fascinating, but it's also fascinatingly bad at its job right now. If you're going to be pushing this through as a live update running the site, it's got to be nearly perfect. And it's not even close. There's money being wasted, that's obvious. But poor communication and poorly performing machine learning are creating important turning points in people's lives. After the adpocalypse, people who are trying to make a living on YouTube have had to branch out into other sources of revenue to pay their bills. You're seeing channels that normally wouldn't otherwise care about selling t-shirts pushing their merch now. Everyone's into fashion all of a sudden. Diverse streams of revenue are becoming a necessity. YouTube even knows this, which is why they just acquired FameBit, which is a marketplace that connects creators with advertisers. That tells me that we're going to be seeing this even more than we already are. Witness me now!
Witness me now!
I'm going to tell you about Squarespace. A few years ago, if you were a mom and pop business, you wanted to put up a website for that business, you had to cobble together a bunch of different skill sets to do that. You'd have to hire a web developer to build the site and then bug them to make changes for you every time the site needed to be updated. Not to mention the whole issue of actually hosting the site or buying the domain in the first place. Each of those things requiring some know-how or signing up for a different service. And then Squarespace came along, and you've probably heard their name by now because they actually did something pretty valuable. They took all of those things and they put them in one place. If you're like most people I know and you know absolutely nothing about building a website, then that's pretty useful. Or even if you're someone who does and you're an expert and you just want to pop something up really easy. If you think that's something you need, there is a coupon attached to the link below, so you'd get 10% off your purchase. Plus, Squarespace will know that we sent a potential customer their way. And hey, maybe they'll be back to sponsor Nerd City. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you're new, because I promise you, we're going to get into something much more entertaining